Hello, thank you for tuning in for this section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. This is on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca. I just want to put that out there just in case you're seeing it somewhere else. This is where you should be seeing it. I'm going to put the information for the decks and dice, all that below. Of course, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's go ahead and get into the reading you chose. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? So these readings are definitely valid for whenever you come to them. When I'm recording them, we are in Capricorn season. So it doesn't have to mean when you're watching this it is. But there could be a Capricorn connection here. So say if you're watching this, for example, maybe it's, May, whatever. The next time the moon's in Capricorn might be a trigger to whatever's going on here, just as a heads up. So it seems like Capricorn has something to do with what's going on here. Again, it doesn't have to be during Capricorn season. It could be when the moon or a different planet. Could be, I would say moon or Venus for some reason. Although, I want to say Capricorn goes into Venus about the same time the sun does, but I could be wrong. What do we got going on here for Gemini? This is Gemini, but there's... Well, this is here. Did I say that was there? That's why I'm saying there could be a very strong influence. And there's a hidden card. Possibilities coming in. You just found out. This could be a foundation card. This could be a foundation where it's like, once I see what's really here, once I get a little deeper, it's like I'm hitting bedrock. I'm like, oh, this is as far as we go with this. It could be one of the, end of the line. That's it. This is as far as it goes. All right. That could be why that's coming in. Because it's very much an earth card, but it can be very harsh. It has boundaries, and the boundaries are usually not very negotiable. They're just, this is what it is. And if you try to push it, it does not react very well to that. Up until this point, maybe you thought some possibilities were here, or you saw some of this, you saw some of that. You're like, oh, I think we could do this here. We could do that there. So it's almost like, it's like teaching a fish to fly. Like, oh, there are flying fish, but you're not going to have them living up in the mountains, I don't think. I think they're an ocean fish. No, they're not. Actually, they're not, are they? But they don't live in trees. There we go. It's kind of like realizing you can find a flying fish, but it's not going to be living in a tree, as far as I can tell. Not usually. That might be quite the challenge. The situation has been okay up until now, but I think it's due to the possibility factor. I thought this was a possibility. I thought that was a possibility. I thought this could happen. I thought that could happen. You're hitting bedrock on this one. Hitting bedrock, you're finding out what is actually real. Where will this go? There are limits to the situation, and you're finding that. Sometimes they're monetary, sometimes they're location, distance, stuff like that. It's like, Grandpa's not going to become a world gymnast. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't look like that's really an actual... It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? One of those things. This is a gift. You're not going to like it when you see it. I'm getting that with the 5 of Cups. But they're saying this is a gift. Because they're saying you've seen enough here. You've seen where this ends. You see where that's the limits. You've seen the limits. Now it's time to make the decision. It could be harsh. That could be a harsh one. That could be harsh. Because I feel like I don't know that I want to. I'm like, maybe it's time to, but I don't know that I want to. Is that a 1 or a 7? It's a 1. Magician. But it's seeing it that it is your moment. It's time to balance it out. You got the 6 of Pentacles and the Magician. Then the Seven of Swords, and what is this? The Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles comes up here too. It's time to start hashing it out and start moving it where you need it to go. You've seen the limits. You know what to do now. I feel like once I see the limits, I feel like you know. You know what needs to happen. You know, like, all right, I've seen all the best of this. And sometimes it's like, I've seen as far as this can go, and that's not good enough. Sometimes it's that. It's kind of, this is as far as this can go, and now that I've seen it, that this is as far, that's not good enough for me, and now I need to make a different decision. Because I feel like that's where you are. You're like, I don't want to make this decision, but I feel like it's time to make the decision. I feel like that's very heavy here. Like, I don't really want to make that decision. Which is fine. Like, if you're watching this and that's the energy you're in, that's fine. Because someone's coming to help you. You don't have to wait for that, by the way. You don't have to wait for that. It's not funny, but it's funny if you follow me. Somebody's coming to help you. These two energies coming in. Okay. They are compatible with Gemini. I just don't know that they're going to be nice, but they're compatible. Could be one person, could be two people. If it's one person, it's very driven, and they're not afraid to tell you what they're thinking. Very driven and not afraid to tell you what they're thinking. If it's two different people, one person's going to be more communication, other person's going to be more action. They're meaning to help things change. Something is trying to push you forward. Somebody is going to be like, come on, Gemini, we know this isn't going to work for you. Let's go. It's very much. The thing is, if this happens, if this reading plays out this way, they're trying to give you another level of this. Because I feel like when this comes in, you could easily fall into this, all right, I guess this is what we're going to do, and go along with the crowd. With the Hierophant coming in here, it's like somebody's leading the way, and it's like they're making the rules. You don't have to accept that. But for some reason, I feel like this is the natural, if this just plays out the way it's going to play out. If that's what it is, it's basically, it's going to be their show, their way, and we're mostly working towards the goals that they want. Hopefully they are considering yours along the way as well. Other possibility here that I'm seeing, and there's another one, obviously, Gemini being shocked. You're right. You already know there's 50 million ways to do things. Is to go your own direction. What is that over there? Okay. Okay. If you go your own direction, I get all these cards coming at once, come in at once. You do have the ability to go your own direction. It is, I feel like it's all on me. It's all on me to make this happen. You do have what it takes to make it happen. You can do this, definitely. For some reason, I feel making that decision is very, very heavy. For some of you, I feel like you just need to give yourself a little more credit that you do have what it takes to make this a success. You don't have to go somebody else's direction. Once you realize this, you're in this boat, you're like, all right, this boat isn't for me. And other people are like, yeah, we're not going to stay in this boat either. Come on with us. And you get on their ocean liner, and then it's kind of like, here we go, we're going on the ocean liner. They're like, well, you also could go, you could go swim over to that island, and you could find your new possibilities there. So it's kind of like, I was in this boat, people are like, no, come on to this bigger boat with us. And then I'm like, on that bigger boat. Or, and this is harder, to like swim to the shore, to swim to the island and go, hey, you know what, I'm not going to do the boat thing anymore. That boat had limits. That other boat, it's bigger, but it's almost like wherever other people want you to go, it feels very much to me like there's limits to that too. It's just going to take me a little while to find them, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be very similar to this boat. This boat had a front, a side, a back, whatever. It only went so deep, it only went so high. I explored the limits. That boat, sooner or later, I'm going to find the limits on that one too. But that island, I have no idea how far that goes. I don't know what other possibilities. I could end up finding a better boat. If I go onto that island for a while, maybe I'll find a better boat that I actually do want to be on. Who knows? It's kind of stepping away from the possibilities that somebody else is giving you and deciding, you know what, I'm going to go out here on my own, find what I want. It's harder. It's stressful. The Ten of Swords is telling me it's a lot of stress, but the Strength card is telling me you definitely, it's kind of like if you swim to shore, you're like, well, I'm on shore now. I made my choice. Now I gotta make it work. You do have what it takes. You do. And it's going to take a while to really add it up the way you want it to, but it's through this process you will get where you're actually wanting to be, and you'll be very happy with that. Through that process, you are leaving a lot of things behind that you thought were for you. You will be leaving a lot of things behind that you thought were for you, but I'm getting, as you get farther away from it, you're going to look back and go, you know what? I just thought that fit. I thought that was what I wanted. But the more distance I have from that, the less I really, that was not really for me. I don't know why I thought that was, but at the time, I thought that was for me. And you're going to be going into a whole new situation. There's a whole change for you. Geminis are very complicated people, in my opinion. They're very intelligent, too. I feel like they usually get underestimated. And when you go into this new energy of life, if you decide to choose it, it's accepting who you really are and accepting that there's nothing wrong with you that really makes the difference. Is that a problem that Gemini feels? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say all Geminis. It couldn't be all Geminis that feels that way. But it's like accepting like other people thinking that you don't know what you're doing is not the truth. Them not being able to keep up with your thought process, that could easily be the case. Because I do feel like Geminis are very intelligent, very advanced intellectually, and I feel like the majority of people cannot keep up with the thought process, because I feel like they go forward. I feel like Geminis go forward very quickly sometimes, and like you just move forward with thoughts. You get things where you need to. You don't waste time on the little details. You're like, well, that's obvious. Like, it's kind of like you wouldn't explain to somebody how to make a pancake. You're like, obviously, you put it in a pan and you fry it, like, or whatever. You put it with butter and you fry it. Why would I explain the whole process? So it's almost like Gemini will skip part of the process, kind of like, well, that's obvious. Why would I talk about that? That's boring. You already know that part. Let's go into the good stuff. People, not everybody can keep up like that. Some people need you to talk about, well, first we get the flour, we put in the baking soda, we put in this other stuff, and then we mix in the milk and the butter and blah, 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 and then we put it in the pan and we leave it there for X amount of times and we wait for the bubbles. And Gemini's like, I don't want to talk about that. That's the obvious part. Let's move on. And it's realizing there's nothing wrong with you. There's just some people who can't keep up. And it's not worrying about that anymore, and it's not trying to impress those people anymore. It's kind of like, all right, they're a different flavor. They can have fun over there. I'm going to go over here with the people who do understand me and connect to what I want, with people who enrich my life. Whole new possibility is here. Whole new door is opening. And this is why I was talking about the ship. There's the airship here. It's another version of this. It's that first step is really scary. It's really hard. I also get, though, if you make that first step, you go through that scary process. Once you've made the step, there's no turning back, and you will make it succeed. It's up to you if you want it, clearly. I feel like for the people this is going to hit for, life is trying to say, things have probably not been good enough, but they can be. They can be what you want. They can be where you want. You can have what you're looking for. This scary step will get you closer to that. Otherwise, you can get on the next boat with the people who are trying to say, hey, come with us, Gemini, get on the boat we want, and you can have the parameters we set for you. Anything else? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.